Bam! Here we are. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday night comic book preview stream. I'm Aaron. This is Susie
Hello.
here for Fantasy Books and Games, and we're going to show off some new comics that are coming out tomorrow.
Let's do it.
It's kind of a weird mix of stuff for tomorrow. You know, like you weren't on the stream last week. My doppelganger, the other Aaron, was on the stream last week, and it was like a huge stack of books. So much so that there was some that came out last week that I didn't get to talk about, and then I forgot to grab them to talk about them this week.
Nice.
So we might just save them for next week. Who knows?
There we go.
We'll just save them for a week when there's not much going on.
Yes.
But yeah, there's still like a decent amount of stuff. Several new number ones. You know, it's officially September, which means it's officially horror season, basically. So we're gonna start seeing horror books like every week, I think, right up until usually a couple of weeks into November. Honestly,
I did really love that one DC variant covers where they were all like trick or treating and everything. There was kids.
Yeah, that was,
one was really
a few years ago. I think they did that. That was really good. Yeah,
Yes.
So I'm sure they'll do something similar. But anyway, let's just get right into the new comics. And of course, when I say new comics, you know, we always like to start off with facsimiles of old comics.
That's true.
And there's only
New
one.
and old.
There's only one facsimile coming out tomorrow, and it's not even that old. This is Batman number 635. It is a mere 21 years old. It's not. It's not
too much.
really old. But this came out.
Still older than some of our coworkers.
That's true. It is still older than some of our coworkers. I believe this came out in 2004. Yeah, finally legal drinking age for this issue. This is, if you're keeping track, and I know it's difficult, this is the first appearance of the Red Hood, specifically at Jason Todd as the Red Hood, because this issue comes several issues after the Hush story arc, where they teased the return of Jason Todd as Hush, and then it turned out it wasn't him. It was Clayface. It was somebody else. It was confusing. It was like it was another guy, and Clayface was pretending to be that guy, but then it was like sometimes it was the real guy, and then later he was pretending to be Jason Todd, but then later maybe he was really Jason Todd there, and it wasn't Clayface. I don't remember. It's
21 years ago, comics were still convoluted.
Exactly, and also I haven't read them since then, so I really don't remember anything about them. But yeah, this is another facsimile from the era when I was buying comics. I had actually quit buying Batman by the time this came out. I didn't buy this issue on the stands, but I did buy the Hush series and several issues after that, and I stopped right before this came out. So I guess I missed out on, you know, the big, well, because, you know, this does kind of signal in that new era of Batman and the Bat family where all the Robins are there.
Yes.
You know, like, because up until this point, like, I think we talked about this. I don't remember if I talked about this on the stream recently. I can't keep track of things. But, like, let's see, a few years before this, Bucky had been brought back as the Winter Soldier at Marvel. And when I was growing up, the old joke was that no character stays dead except for Uncle Ben, Bucky, and Jason Todd.
Yep.
And now, within two of the three are gone, like,
so
permanently.
We're waiting for like an Uncle Ben, like.
And there've always been like multiverse things where like Ben is still alive, but they've never just officially made him alive again permanently. And I'm not holding my breath at this point. I'm sure it'll happen eventually. But anyway, so this is the only facsimile coming out tomorrow. The first appearance of Red Hood. Classic story by Judd Winnick and Doug Mahnke. I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. I don't actually know if the E is silent, if it's Mank or Mankey. But or Monk, exactly. But it is I want to show off some of the art some more. Well, I'm also going to show off this beautiful Got Milk ad. Yeah, but he's a really good artist. He's a Spy versus Spy Mountain Dew ad. How about that?
Oh my goodness.
Well, that's crazy. What is this? The Incredibles for the PlayStation 2. I just like the facsimiles looking at the old ads.
Game Boy Advance and the GameCube.
Right.
Iconic.
Did you ever believe you would enjoy looking at old advertisements in comic books? What am I talking? Who am I talking to? You never read comic books with advertisements in them?
What?
Okay, let's see, a few things I'm going to talk about here. There's only a few things that are in my regular pull. I think I'm not going to spend a lot of time on GI Joe.
What,
I don't think
you?
I need to sell GI Joe. Like everybody knows, I like GI Joe. It's just been a cool series. I guess maybe we'll just. This is a cool cover, and I really like the story that they've been doing for the last couple of issues because basically all the cool ninja characters, Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow and Jinx and Scarlet, and the newer character whose name I can't remember, they've all been undercover in Springfield, which, as you remember, Susie, Springfield
Yes.
is the fake town where all of the Cobra agents live. Because
Oh.
you have a terrorist organization populated with this like military army.
Sure.
They have to live somewhere, and they have
Yes.
families. So they just created this town that it's like a cover town where it's just like a friendly,
Yeah.
normal American community.
Vastly different than The Simpsons Springfield.
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe not that different. Well, I don't know.
Time will tell.
Time will tell. Yeah, they're all revealed to be sleeper agents.
Yes.
But anyway, so this is just like that's some of my favorite parts of classic GI Joe was what Springfield was just. It was just really cool idea, and so yeah, all the cool characters were undercover, pretending to be posing as Cobra agents, posing as normal people, so that they could get some doing some
Intel
spy
and stuff
stuff
like that.
on Cobra. Yeah. Anyway,
It reminds me of there was a very similar. I was looking up like Marvel cities and everything, and there was one that was like Pleasantville or whatever, where it was like actually like a massive prison that's built to look like an Americana town.
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
And like they don't know that they're in a prison, but it's just like this.
Yeah, that one is
weird,
lost on me.
Yeah.
It might be a more recent thing. And by recent, I mean within the last 20 years. But anyway, so yeah, I like me some G.I. Joe. Some other stuff that's in my regular pull, Absolute Superman. This series has been solid. It's just outshined by Absolute Wonder Woman and Absolute Martian Manhunter. But it is a good series. I know, right? Absolute Martian Manhunter especially. But I like that this one has, as you can tell from the cover, has Brainiac in it. And the Brainiac issue was pretty good, where they tell the history of Brainiac in this universe, and he's basically this psychotic torturer computer system. He's the last surviving component of the Brainiac. It's difficult to explain without just reading the story.
Sure.
But there are several Brainiacs, because as we all know, in the Legion of Superheroes in the year 3000, Brainiac 5 is a good guy, and he's a descendant of Brainiac. And so that's always been like a thing, that there's like multiple Brainiacs.
Sure.
And so this in the Absolute Universe, because everything in the Absolute Universe is darker than the the regular
DC. It's metal.
It's even darker than the darkest DC darkness that's ever darked.
Oh, that's pretty deep.
And it's pretty dark. And Brainiac killed all the other versions of Brainiac so he could be the only Brainiac. And he's trying to psychically torture Superman so that he can turn Superman evil, basically, so he can work for Ra's al Ghul.
Fun.
And Brainiac has all of his other Brainiac drones, and Superman turns them against him because Superman's a good guy. Anyway, it's just good stuff. A
lot of great coloring in this.
Yeah, it's a striking, like, I like the way they use all the red, like the red motif, obviously, with Superman and the red sun.
Right.
Brainiac is green and kryptonite. Like, yeah, they're really
use of like the complementary colors.
Yeah, looks really good. But the Brainiac stuff is fun. I think that's like the stuff I've liked so much in this series so far. My favorite parts were the flashbacks on Krypton. I thought that was really interesting, just getting to know like the way the world of Krypton worked in this series, because I think that's always fun. Yeah. And Brainiac's tied to that. So now we got Brainiac on Earth, and he was a part of the Krypton like story. So those are the best parts of the story, is all I'm saying. So I really enjoyed this issue. Okay, moving on. Let's see. I got a bunch of little stuff here. We'll talk about this one very briefly. The War, issue number 2. This is a variant cover by James Stokoe, one of my favorite artists working right now. He's kind of a weird guy. But this is a comic by Garth Ennis and Becky Cloonan. This is issue number 2. I believe we talked about issue 1 last month when it came out. But this was originally serialized in the horror anthology series Hello Darkness, and it is really, really good, especially for I don't.
I would have loved to invoice this page.
Right, I know. These are the best kind of pages where it's just like all black, and the letterer is the only one who got paid here, right? But
I would have invoiced that.
but this I like this series a lot because it's I like Garth Ennis. He's a really good writer,
Yeah.
but he's also one of those guys where you could tell pretty early on like what type of story he's trying to tell. Like he's got his comedy stories which are absurd and full of like mean-spirited jokes, and then he's just got his like hardcore stuff where he just wants to do like gory action and violence.
Yes.
And so this is definitely more in the hardcore, just gory action and violence. It's not like it's not meant to be like shocking the way something like Crossed was. I don't know if you ever read Crossed or if you've heard about it. It's one of the most like out there, like he's trying to shock you as hard as possible.
Sure.
For just how disgusting he can be. This is actually, it was, like I said, it was in a horror anthology, and it's actually, I'm gonna flip through some of these pages here. It's actually pretty scary. It's got like, it sounds weird to say scary because I don't mean like, it's horrific, like truly horrific, because it's called The War, and it's what's so horrific about it is that it presents a very realistic, like here you can see a guy with no arms. It's just because he was in a explosion, and it just presents a horrifically real world take on what would happen if nuclear war broke out.
Oh man.
And it's told from the point of view of these characters living in the city. So like they don't really know what's going on. They just know something has happened, and then like plane falls out of the sky, and it's just like basically like slice of life of these characters as they're trying to like just survive and figure out what's going on. Sure. And that is pretty scary, you know. I don't want to like spoil too much of what's happening here, but like, I mean, here you see this guy just giving up and trying to kill himself. So it's, you know, it's really good. Like this is very strong Garth Ennis, because when he's at his strongest, he just really taps into something that's primal, because he's such a fearless writer. Like he's never afraid to just put something on the page.
Yes.
And I think it just like really works in this issue, or this series, I should say.
It kind of reminds me, like, one of the things that's silly, like one of the movies that like scared me the most in like the last year or two was actually that Don't Look Up one. Where, the meteor's coming. It's like played very comedically.
I didn't see that one because it looked really silly.
Yes, but like how realistic it was with how like the world deals with something like that. Like
it's a little uncomfortably close to reality.
Yes, exactly. Like people denying that it's even there, even though they can literally see it from the sky. Like that's what scared me the most. I'm like, oh my god, this could totally just happen.
You know, you know what movie scared me the most as a kid? Back to the Future 2. I watched it on cable one day, and like it just had all these like really, I can't even describe what the scene. I just remember there's like this hole, and there was something in it, and then like years later as an adult, I rewatched Back to the Future 2 and realized I had never seen Back to the Future 2, and I don't know what movie I saw on cable TV that I thought was Back to the Future 2. It was a trippy thing, let me tell you. Like, I don't know what I was doing. I thought I was watching Back to the Future 2, and it scared me to death. I was a kid. I didn't really know what was going on. I just thought it's the sequel.
So if you ever stumble across this, like, one movie...
I'll never know. I'll never know, because it just, like, horribly traumatized me.
Oh, my God.
But... because I loved the first Back to the Future. I could not understand why it was so freaky. That was my little horror movie anecdote. Also coming out tomorrow, Adventure Time. I really like this comic. I've talked about this before, but I'm always kind of like suspicious of licensed material. We've talked about this before, especially now that we have Susie on the episode tonight, Queen of Licensed Material. But this one is really good. It just feels like you're watching an episode of Adventure Time. It's written and drawn by Nick Wynn, and he just, like I said, he just really captures the spirit. It feels like classic Adventure Time. I don't really know how else to sell it, so I don't have much else to say.
If you like the show, then you'll like the comic.
If you like the show, then you'll really like the comic. And I know there's kind of like a thought, like you know, it's definitely a kids comic, a kids cartoon type of a thing. But I always liked Adventure Time because it was like just reaching just a little bit beyond that. Like it was
Yeah.
just a little mature, and I feel like the best types of kids entertainment can do that, where they're
Yep.
for kids clearly, but they're just a little beyond their normal understanding.
Like they know that like kids could handle like more mature
Yeah.
concepts, like nothing like inappropriate or anything
Mhm,
like that,
mhm.
but like they're treating them like as
Yeah, like tiny adults.
tiny adults.
Tiny
Yes.
adults.
So
All right,
I'm
what
gonna
do you
hop
have
in
there? Yeah.
with more licensed stuff.
All
Just because
right.
while we're here, we might as well.
While we're
So-
on the subject.
Yeah. So I didn't get a chance to like read through this one, but I really love like the style. And it's like it's
The
Powerpuff Girls.
Thundercats, Powerpuff Girls.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like you'll be able to understand more of the Thundercats elements, and I was the one that grew up with like more Powerpuff Girls.
I probably know Powerpuff Girls better than Thundercats. I
Probably.
have literally not watched Thundercats since I was single digits old. Like back when it originally aired. It's one of the shows I never revisited. I always kind of kept up with G.I. Joe and even Transformers to a lesser extent. I have never seen Thundercats since it was on TV in the 1980s.
Oh my god.
I know.
What a time.
I know. What a time to be alive.
But something I love about this series, even though I haven't got a chance to look at it, is like I love whoever is drawing the Powerpuff Girls. It's Coleman Angle.
Coleman Angle.
But the way that they are able to make these girls like so expressive, like it's not like there have been like a lot of like comics in the past that they handle licensed materials pretty like stiffly, trying to be as close to on model as possible. But this one, they're not afraid to kind of like go beyond that.
Yeah,
oh, man,
it's supernatural. Yeah, it looks really good. I like the way they blend the different styles. Like the Powerpuff Girls look like the Powerpuff Girls. The Thundercats look like the Thundercats. I'm assuming this is the new version of the Thundercats show. Although I remember, I thought it looked more like the Powerpuff Girls than this. Maybe they're trying to like do an in between, like a compromise style, because I don't think anybody liked that Thundercats Go cartoon.
Oh, yes, I remember what you're talking about.
I don't remember, but yeah, no, it looks really good. Like, yeah, Powerpuff Girls look great. yeah, that's a
so
good
it's definitely
one.
a series I'd be hopping into, like especially once the trade comes out.
What else do you have here?
All right, and then this one came out, I want to say like 2 weeks ago, but it's following, of course, it's me, so I have to talk about Rick and Morty.
I had to save it for you. I didn't want to talk about it when it came out.
Of course.
So I wanted to save it for you.
So basically what they've been doing this summer is it's going to be Rick and Morty. I know we've talked about like the first issue of the main series, where it's them versus like the physical manifestations of the universe. Like they somehow got like all of the universes to basically want to kill them. And so they're like rebooting the franchise as a whole. And with that main series is a bunch of little spin-offs following like some of the side characters. So this one is following Summer specifically, and she's throwing like a bachelorette party for like the manifestation of the Parmesian.
The Parmesian. And didn't we talk about this in the last stream? Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about, like the first issue of the main series, and so this is like one of the spin-offs.
Yeah. No, I just mean we talked about the Parmesian because it's like Parmesan, right? That's why they call it the Parmesian universe.
Yes.
And why are you so excited about this series, Susie?
Well, I'm excited because there's going to be another spin-off coming out next week that's following Jerry, Beth, and Space Beth. And that was drawn by me.
And that's the book you drew. So, wow, I can't wait to show that one off.
Like
do we have a preview of it here?
I think there's like a little... Here we go.
Okay.
Rick and Morty versus the Universe, Beth Tildreth.
Yeah, Susie Blake. Hey, all right. So, yeah, make sure you tune in next week to get the first look at Susie's published work.
Yes.
That's awesome. Okay. This is probably the biggest release coming out tomorrow. Certainly the one that most of our customers are excited about. There's a new Batman series, Batman #1. This is written by Matt Fraction, who's, he's a veteran comic book writer. I'm a big fan of his work, and art by, I think it is pronounced George Jimenez. It could be Jorge. It depends on where he's from, I think. But I'm going to say George just because I like hitting those hard consonants. But this is, like I said, it's new Batman. I think that one of the things they've really been advertising it so much is just the fact that he's wearing like the blue and gray
The return
costume.
of the blue and
The
gray.
return of the blue and gray. And honestly, I gotta.
Was that a big selling point for
It's
you?
well, not necessarily for me, but it was for a lot of people. Like we've had a lot of people say like they're happy that he's returning to the blue and gray because that was this was the look of Batman in the 1970s. Because the I mean I don't do you know are you familiar with the history of Batman, Susie? Like he started out in 1939, 38 as just black and gray costume, and it was very, very pulpy. Yes. And then in the 50s, after the Comics Code got introduced, Batman got really silly and his costume turned blue, which is a natural evolution of characters that have a black costume because in comic book coloring, you'll probably understand this.
Yes.
When you want to add a highlight to something that's black, a lot of times you give it a blue highlight to imply that there's light reflecting on the black, which kind of makes it a little blue. Yes. And then over time, it just sort of becomes colored blue with black highlights. See, for example, the character of Venom in Spider-Man. Originally, it was a black costume, and now you see him all the time. He's kind of drawn as blue. And only recently, actually, they've gotten back to him being black.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what happened with Batman. He was blue for a long time, and then in the 70s, that's when they got it away from the cartoony look, but they still kept a similar color scheme with the blue and gray. And then in the 90s, or in the 80s, I should say, Tim Burton's movie came along, and they went back to the black finally. But
now we're back to the blue.
Now we're back to the blue because now people are nostalgic for the 70s, which was 50 years ago. You know, so I enjoyed this issue. I did feel like I was kind of stepping into a story without like missing out on some of the continuity that probably happened in previous Batman issues. But this is a #1, so I that always kind of bothers me when I step into something and feel like I'm missing out on some continuity stuff. There's a new setting where Commissioner Gordon, they say it right on the first page. He's no longer commissioner. He's just a beat cop. Oh. He's just Officer Gordon. I'm guessing he was fired or demoted. And the new commissioner is Vandal Savage, who is a villain. And so that is how they kind of explain the setup where in this series, Batman is like, they're setting up the Batman is wanted by the police kind of a thing. Gotcha. You know, because he's a vigilante. It's against the law. But like, that's always like, that makes sense when you're just doing Batman stories or you're doing like early Batman stories. Yeah. It doesn't make as much sense when you have Batman as a famous member of the Justice League, the greatest superhero team of all time. And then also they're like, oh, but he's also under arrest. Like, you know, so they kind of, they're able to, Matt Fraction is able to get around that by just turning it into like this type of basically like superhero political game where Vandal Savage has like some political power now as the commissioner of Gotham City. And so he's trying to rein in the Batman, you know, and it works well enough. There's also something, I think, again, I've not really been following the Batman books. The only Batman stuff I read is usually side stories or like miniseries. Yeah. I haven't been following the main continuity, but apparently I think maybe Alfred is dead, and because
in this issue,
like in the current continuity, because he has an Alfred hologram that like follows him around and he talks to, which that also leads into one of the things I like about this version of Batman is very technology focused, which I appreciate that he's got all these gadgets, like he's got a little hologram projector on his glove. And he's using like visor vision, you know, he's got like taser gloves. Like it's really neat. Cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool. All in all, I thought it was like a solid first issue. I don't want to like oversell what the story is because there's some stuff. There's some developments. The main villain in it is Killer Croc.
Oh,
and
fun.
I like Killer Croc. So yeah, it was a solid comic. One of the things, I'm sorry, what were you about to say?
Oh, I was going to say, I will say how fun it is to try and look up Batman #1 in our point of sale system.
I know. Great. There's no shortage of Batman #1s out there.
And then it'll pull up like Batman 100 or something like that. Or
So one of the things that they're doing, because this is the start of a new volume of Batman, they're renumbering it #1. So obviously there's like a million variant covers. But one of the things they're doing that's really exciting is that they are doing these blind bag variant covers. Look at this polybag. You remember polybags?
It's like opening Pokemon packs, but big.
I'm flashing back to 1992, like polybag comics. But yeah, you don't know which cover you're going to get. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, all of the blind bag variants will be a foil.
It seems like it.
It's a foil. Each bag includes one randomly inserted foil variant cover by a superstar artist. So I think I'm going to get one of these variants. Let's open it up on the stream live and,
that'd be fun,
and see what we get. So let's see. Well, let's just see if these scissors work that well. Here we go. Okay. We did this for the Battle Beast blind bags. I got that one as well. I'm going to put this on the downward camera. Let's see.
What we got.
Big money, no whammies. There are several variant covers that I kind of would like. So yeah, okay. Let's see. Let's see what we got. Okay, this is this is
really cool.
That is a nice cover. Let me see which one that is, because they got all the covers in the back here. Here we are.
Nice.
Yep, that is the Mark Silvestri. Okay, I thought I recognized that. Yeah, Mark Silvestri. That's a good one.
Cool.
That's a very good one. I like Mark Silvestri a lot. He was one of the artists on the Uncanny X-Men during the glory years of the late 80s, and he went on to be one of the main guys at Image Comics.
Oh, very cool.
So yeah, very, very, very cool. Mark Silvestri also did Batman series a few years ago, Batman and Joker Deadly Duo. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. Got the foil Mark Silvestri cover right there.
Very nice.
Not too shabby. Okay, let's see. What else do we have here to talk about? I don't know if I want to talk about that one just yet, because I actually have nice things to say about it. Let's talk about the Amazing Spider-Man.
Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying I want to be mean. I'm just saying I don't have as much to say about this.
Evil.
This issue is number 11 of the current run, but the legacy number is 975, which means it's an anniversary issue. So it's oversized, and there are 2 Spider-Men. I'm not going to spoil what is happening in it, but if you've been following the story up until this point in Spider-Man, which I want to be perfectly clear, I have not been following the story up until this point, but apparently Peter Parker and Spider-Man has gone missing. And then at a certain point, Spider-Man shows up, and then Peter Parker shows up, and they both accuse each other of being an imposter.
Oh, that's
and so I'm like, okay, that's kind of fun. Art by classic John Romita Jr. And so you get Peter Parker versus Spider-Man in this issue, and I don't think I'm not even gonna spoil anything else. I just want to say, like, I wasn't really planning on reading this, and I flipped through it and I was like, why is Spider-Man fighting Peter Parker?
Sure.
To be fair, there's like a million different versions of Spider-Man out there, so I'm like, okay, It could be anything.
I wonder if they're copying that Danny Phantom plotline from 20 years ago.
Oh, maybe. But they do reveal, again, I'm not going to spoil anything, but they do reveal who each of the characters are. They reveal Peter, and they reveal Spider-Man.
Playing Jason Todd, playing Spider-Man, playing Peter Parker.
It's a little, I mean, you know what? There is one of the famous Spider-Man villains is the Chameleon. I'm not.
What's it gonna be?
I'm not saying that that's who it is, but it is referenced. Because they know what they're doing. It's written by Joe Kelly. He's a good writer. I like him. But anyway, this is an oversized issue. There's several other stories in it which I did not read, but there's one in the back. I just like this art style. I'm gonna show.
Oh, that's great. It's like almost Adventure Time style.
Yeah, it's that really playful. Like it's not quite Scotty Young. Like it's got its own thing going on, but you can tell he's kind of like riffing on that fun kind of distorted style. But it's just like a two-page story. But I like the look of it quite a bit. Okay, moving on. There's another big Spider-Man book coming out tomorrow. This is Spider-Man 94, number 1. And I'll tell you what, we were just talking about like watching cartoons in the 80s. I also watched cartoons in the 90s. And one of my favorite cartoons was The Amazing Spider-Man. This I love that cartoon, and it's now that they've got X-Men 97 out there, they need to do a Spider-Man 94, and I don't think they have it in the works. So the best we're going to get is this comic book miniseries to cash in on it. And I will say right off the bat, this is a cool cover by Nick Bradshaw, I believe. Just captures the vibe of the cartoon perfectly. Like, this is exactly what the cartoon was. It's a cartoon design of Venom, Hobgoblin, Doctor Octopus, all these characters. They even got the corner box. This is how the corner box looked. Not quite in 94. This is more like 95, 96, I think. I hate to be anachronistic. I hate to be a stickler, but
you hate to be a
stickler. I still appreciate that it just looks like a retro design.
Yes.
So I did read this one. It's written by J.M. DeMatteis, who he did write Spider-Man in the 90s, and it's perfectly acceptable. I'm gonna go. I'm kind of in the it's fine territory. I know that y'all love it when I say it's fine.
Yes.
But it's also pretty let down for me, and part of that is because this interior art, it doesn't look like the animated series, which kind of bothers me because to me that's the whole selling point. Like, this just looks like comic book art. It doesn't look like they're doing like when they do the even the X-Men,
like the Batman animated series.
Correct. When they do the Batman Adventures, like, they have great artists on there, like Rick Burchett and I'm blanking on his name. But those guys, they emulate the Bruce Timm style perfectly.
Yes.
Same thing with like the Superman Adventures. The X-Men 97 comic also emulated the cartoon very well.
And like Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. We were talking about licensed comics earlier, like when you do Rick and Morty, it looks on model like the cartoon.
Yeah.
And so it really bothers me like a lot that this doesn't look like the animated series.
They could have even done it like the animated series, but like, taken a step further, like with the rendering and stuff like that.
Right.
You're not limited to having to animate the same pose and like.
Right. So the characters are like, they're in their character designs from the animated series. Like, that's Aunt May's design from the cartoon, and Mary Jane's design from the cartoon. But like, the art doesn't match the style of the art in the cartoon, and so
Peter Parker's kind of bugging me a little bit.
It's really weird. I don't like. I'm trying.
I
know. I didn't even want to like dwell on that panel because it's not. I don't want to drag the artist on this because I'm sure he worked as hard as he could. But like, this is to me, this is an editorial problem. Like, they should have just got somebody who can do the animated series style.
Yes.
But I'm sure that since it's not actually an animated series, like, there's not actually a Spider-Man 94 cartoon on the stands, so they're probably not trying that hard. I don't know what else to say. Also, the main villain in it, it is a newer villain. If you're familiar with Spider-Man and you just saw me flipping through those pages, you probably saw who the villain was. But he's a newer villain that was introduced in the 2000s, so well after the Spider-Man 94 series. And that also, I'm kind of like, because the Spider-Man cartoon, what it mostly did was adapted a lot of the 70s and 80s stories into, and then occasionally they would try to do some of the more recent, like early 90s stuff, but it was mostly the old stuff. So again, having like modern Spider-Man characters infiltrating my retro nostalgia book.
Oh my goodness.
I was supremely let down by this, I have to say. But it does have the only thing I can say it has going for it.
Yes.
It does have Peter Parker and Mary Jane married.
Nice.
Because they did get married in the cartoon.
Oh, there you go.
And you want to talk about some weird continuity. They sort of gloss over it, but the final season of the Spider-Man cartoon, it actually ends with Mary Jane like falling in a wormhole, like a black hole, and going to like an alternate universe, and Spider-Man has to go and like save her. And the whole, I don't know if it's the last season of Spider-Man or if it was its own show. I think it was called Spider-Man Unlimited, and it's weird. He like gets a different costume and he's on an alien planet, This is all really happened. It sounds like I'm making it up.
Yes.
But it's like a whole season of him looking for Mary Jane in this like alternate reality.
Do they reference that in the
Yes.
comics?
There's like well they gloss over it. They're just like Mary Jane went away and then I had to find her and she's back now. They don't really like they don't show the different costume or anything. But yeah, so and I don't okay. Well let's talk about something that's really neat. Here we go. Talking about more like fun stuff. It's Jeff.
Our favorite.
And other Marvel tales.
And those other guys.
It's Jeff and the others. So I think I've kind of mentioned this, like Jeff, there's like a Jeff saturation going on right now.
They've definitely found their like Mickey Mouse Minion brand.
Minion is a good example. Because like they did the Jeff miniseries, which I only talked about the first issue. I think 3 issues have since come out. And I didn't bother talking about it because it's just a normal like it's a 5-issue series with Jeff, and it doesn't have art by Gurihiru, who is kind of the selling point for me anyway.
Yeah.
I think that.
No, I would say they're probably my like favorite artist team.
Yeah, the whole that studio, and so you get some classic Jeff. It looks great. It's a very, very cute story. I just love Jeff in a little business suit with a suitcase. Oh my God, he's going to work. He's got a little tin can. He scratches his tips. Beautiful. But as you can see, like flipping through it, there's plenty of Jeff comics. But then they kind of run out of Jeff comics, and that's where the
others.
That's where the and other Marvel Tales comes in. And notice it's Tales Tails, because like every character has to have like an animal equivalent. So you get Alligator Loki and Throg. And there's some other stuff in here. There's the Alligator Loki, and then there's like the Marvel Meow comics, which that was a different one shot that they put out. Here we are, Marvel Meow, which I
like the style in this one.
I like this one too. This one looks good, and it's it's cats, and who doesn't love cats?
Sure.
Actually, I don't know if you know this about me, Susie. I kind of hate cats.
Do you?
Well, they're stupid.
You have like 6 of them now?
We have a lot of cats, and they're all stupid, and I hate them.
They just know to show up at your house.
That's right. But so anyway, there we go. It's Jeff and other Marvel Tales.
Yes.
You might be confused because you just see like a Jeff comic on the shelves like every other week. So this one is not a part of the ongoing Jeff series. This is its own standalone, which has the classic Gurihiru stories in it. So I like it.
You can really tell that Gurihiru has been busy with like the Unico books right now.
Yeah, they've been doing the Unico books, which I've talked about on here when they come out, and
they're fantastic.
I really like them. Yeah, they're good. Okay, we got a couple of things here to talk about. Did you have anything else, or did we?
Nope.
Did we talk? Okay, so one other book to talk about. Like I said, horror comics are kind of becoming a thing. There's this book called Blood Honey, which I didn't read all of it, but I liked the art a lot. And it's kind of it's like a horror comedy. It's self-described as Tim Burton-esque, and it's about these 2 high school characters who are like the king and the queen of the school, and then they get bored with each other, and so they decide they're going to break up secretly. They both decide they're going to break up with the other one, but in order to do that, they're going to kill the other one.
Perfect.
So this is just like stories. This is stories of them secretly trying to kill each other while also keeping up the charade that they're in a relationship.
That's incredible.
And I like the art a lot. This is by I lost his name. There we are. Sean Peacock, whose work I'm not familiar with, but yeah, it looks.
And they did the story.
It's all by him, written and drawn by him.
That's wild.
Yep. That 100%. I guess he didn't letter it. Letters and design by Sandy Tanaka, but
he
did.
It all.
I know. Yeah, it's very hard. But yeah, so it looks like a fun comic. Again, just kind of what would you call that? Like a dark kind of romance. Like I guess that's where the Tim Burton
like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's like
what
romantic.
Company did this?
This is by IDW.
Oh, okay.
IDW Dark, which is I lost focus. There we go. Which is the imprint that they're doing for like all their horror comics,
Interesting.
like Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees is
Sure.
IDW Dark,
Ooh.
IDW After Hours. Also, we have in the horror comics vein, Everything Dead and Dying. This is a #1 that comes out tomorrow, and this is a pretty creepy comic. Like the cover, it's difficult to see the lettering, the logo on that because it's like a white on a light background, but you can kind of see you have a farmer milking what appears to be a dead or
zombie,
perhaps a zombie cow. What got me to look at this is written by Tate Bromble, whose work I'm not familiar with, but art by Jacob Phillips, who we all know is Sean Phillips' son. And if you weren't aware that because they have the same name, you can tell because they have the exact same art style.
That's fun.
Which I really like.
It's rare that you see that.
Yeah, that's not a knock on Jacob Phillips. It's like Sean Phillips actually is one of the greatest comic book artists ever, and so I'm very happy to see that he is continuing his father's legacy.
I think it's really cool when that happens. Like I love like comic artists like couples and everything, like how they like pair well. Like one of them will like ink or the other one will color and stuff like that. But it's so rare to see like parents, you know.
Yeah. I mean, you have the original example, John Romita and John Romita Jr. But John Romita Jr. he like pretty early on he like wanted to break away from his dad's style and kind of develop his own thing. Where I feel like Jacob Phillips is really just embracing the style of legacy. Art that his dad did, and it works because he's a good artist and he draws creepy horror stuff. This story, I don't want to give too much away about the story, but I guess I'll say if you can't tell from looking at it, it's basically a zombie story. You'll figure that out just if you flip through the pages. You will see zombie imagery here, like there's a guy feeding food to what appears to be something happening here. But yeah, like there you go. Like there's the farm. He's bricked up and barbed wire walls. But it's about a farmer who, for whatever reason, is immune to whatever sickness is going around, and his family gets infected, and it's just about him trying to keep his life together, like
find a new normal.
Find a new normal. That's a good way to put it. Find a new normal. So I can't help but wonder how much of this was inspired by the, I guess it's not so recent anymore, pandemic that happened 5 years ago. But I enjoyed it, but it's very a little bit surreal in the storytelling because there's a lot of scenes that bounce around where it's like you can't tell like what's supposed to be the dream, what's supposed to be really happening, and it's done like that on purpose to kind of give it this surreal quality where like because they keep cutting back and forth between scenes of him talking to people before the sickness hit them and then scenes that it's clearly set after the sickness is set in, and he's still just trying to keep the routine going. So it's a really good first issue.
It works because it almost seems like he's like creating an illusion for himself in a way.
Exactly. There is it's pretty good, and there is a big kind of a twist at the end, which I won't spoil because it does move on, but it's kind of what you expect. It's the escalating element that happens in almost all zombie movies.
Sure.
But anyway, so if you're looking
humans are the real monsters all along.
Yeah,
I haven't read it. That's not a spoiler.
Well, yeah, but that is. I mean, so I guess one of the things I should say, which I didn't really explain too much about the story, but the story definitely highlights a lot of American history and also various prejudices and injustices. And so, like the main character, he is in a gay relationship and he has an adopted daughter. And so there is this initial setup of like they're already like outsiders in the town and they face prejudice all the time. But he like worked really hard to kind of build himself his little area, and then he's not going to let something stupid like a zombie apocalypse take that away from him. So yeah, there's a lot of complex themes going on. It's not just I guess I don't want to say Walking Dead, but it's not just Walking Dead. It's, there's a lot going on. So it's pretty good. Also coming out tomorrow, I guess I got two little things to briefly touch on, but one thing I forgot to talk about when we were talking about that Batman. I pulled that cool variant cover.
Oh.
I forgot to talk about. There's something else that DC is doing.
Literally like an elephant-sized
It's
comic.
literally an elephant-sized comic. They're putting out one of those giant, oversized versions.
Where are we going to keep these?
Yeah,
There's so many.
You
need like a giant-sized comic box now.
I really could use one because I have a lot of those Treasury editions, and right now I have like on my bookshelf on the top shelf, I've just got like 20 of them wedged in between two like box sets, you know, and they're just like sitting there.
There was like that Superman one that came out like last month.
Yeah, the Superman Treasury. These ones are actually, though, they're different size than the Treasury editions because you can see this is printed to the same size, the same scale as I can't even like get around this issue, but it's like it's printed at 11 by 17, which is the size of the most. I don't know what size George Jimenez works at, but I imagine standard size. Most comic artists work at 11 by 17 size, so you can see the cool art at the gigantic size. Just trying to show off like.
Wait, I want to see that one. The reveal. Isn't there like that one page where it shows his costume for the first time?
Oh yeah, yeah.
On top of that building. Yes.
Yeah,
take it all in at
cool.
that size.
And they DC released these for the Hush 2 series. So I don't know. I sincerely hope they're not planning on doing this for the entire Matt Fraction Batman run. Where are we going to
keep them in the store? They're already falling off the shelf.
You know what? We're not going to keep them in the store because they're going to sell out. People are going to buy them.
That's true.
So yeah, come in and get your giant size Batman #1. Okay. Speaking of giant things, that's a very weak segue into probably my favorite comics coming out tomorrow. I don't actually have a lot to say about it, but there's a new issue of Savage Sword of Conan. I am loving Savage. Conan's a giant guy, you see.
So that was your segue?
That was my segue. He's a big muscle man.
Nice.
And I really enjoyed
it's not the worst.
It's not the worst, thank you. I like that Titan Comics has been putting out the magazine version of Savage Sword of Conan, which is different from the regular Conan series. I actually think this is better than the regular Conan series because I like that they're mostly self-contained stories. They are just classic black and white, so you can really appreciate the art. Yeah, the inking. This issue is drawn by Doug Bradthwaite, who he has illustrated issues of the regular Conan series, and I have to admit I don't like his art in that as much with the coloring. I like it more in the black and white, where you just get that stark, you can just really appreciate all of his ink work, and you get these heavy blacks.
Gosh.
Yeah, so it's really, really cool. I forgot to grab, this is actually the variant cover. The main cover is by one of my favorite artists, Mike Mignola, and it has...
Ooh, I want to see that.
It has... you going to go grab it for me? All right, yeah, go grab it off the wall. It's not actually Conan on the cover, though, because there's a backup story in here about a different Howard character called Sailor Steve Costigan. And I think that's my other thing that I like about the Savage Sword series is that they're branching out, and they usually have other stories in it that are other characters created by Howard, not just Conan the Barbarian. So yeah, it's just fun to see some of these other characters that I really had. Most of these I'd never heard of. I'd really only ever read Conan. Oh look, there's Susie in the background. Let's see, here she comes. You find it?
I found it.
All right. So yeah, as you can see there's Mike Mignola's. This is actually the A cover. Oh my God, Susie's breaking everything. Oh my God, it's getting worse, people. You might need to send for help. Oh my God, it's total chaos. What are you even doing? What did you?
Spilled water.
Oh, water! Please remove my laptop. Thank you.
Oh.
Susie.
Turn my microphone off.
All right. No. All right. Susie's gone. She's not on the stream anymore. But as you can see, there's a very cool Mike Mignola cover featuring the Sailor character. I'm so very distracted now. All right. I have one last thing we're going to talk about, and then I think we're going to get out of here so Susie can clean up her mess. There is a separate Conan the Barbarian thing coming out tomorrow. This is a fully illustrated Conan story, original story by Robert E. Howard. This is one of the classics, actually one of my favorite Conan stories, The Tower of the Elephant, and it has beautiful art by I forgot his name. It is Valentin Secher, and it's like I said, it's prose. It's the original Conan story, as you can see there, but just with this beautiful, beautiful art, and just looks cool, very cool. So if you like the classic Howard Conan, this is a great way to experience it because, like I said, cool art. Okay, all right. I think we're gonna close it out there because Susie's having an emergency.
I even broke a nail. I'm very excited.
Oh my goodness! I turned your microphone off. I don't know if they can even hear you. All right, everybody. You know, like our friend Dan says, there's comics out there for everybody. It's not just superheroes, although a lot of times it is Batman because there's a lot of Batman out there. But so come on down to Fantasy Books and Games, get some comic books, talk to me, make fun of Susie for being a klutz, and we'll see y'all later. Bye.